okay.
Okay. What do you like about these pictures compared to your hair color currently?
It just looks, I think this looks a little orange here, a little bit messy.
Do you mind if I show the camera really quick?
Yeah. And it was just so annoying coloring the grays.
So often?
Yeah. So then I was just like, oh, let me try the gray. And I tried I told my hairdresser. And then she was just like, you know, I think she highlighted it maybe like a couple months ago or three months ago maybe. And then maybe it was longer. Yeah, and then last time I saw her was probably a couple months ago. And she's like, you know, we can just like tone the gray that's coming in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I saw your videos and I was like, maybe you can do something more because I could see like
the color that you put at your root, it washes out.
Yeah, it was washing out. It was I made sure. Well, I mean, I asked ChatGPT. I mean, a lot of it washed out.
Okay. Have you used it before?
No.
Okay.
I was just using that one gloss before.
You just did it on the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you care to see the gray in between the highlights, or you?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just today like leave your natural in between the color, and then see from there if you would want it cover sheerly next time in between?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So
whatever you think.
Okay. So I think that would, if you can, that would give you the ultimate like softest grow out to leave your natural in between and get you closer to a point where like when it grows in, it looks very natural and just more like highlights with your normal highlights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, I'll definitely pick up some more of these orangey pieces and try to get your ends a little bit lighter because your ends right now look kind of dark. So I want to work on brightening this up and then getting you to a lighter tone. But as far as the blend, I think making this a little bit lighter than the photos as far as like picking up more pieces would be better to try and get rid of more of the brown.
Oh.
Yeah, and then as your roots grow in, we can start leaving more dimension with your natural. Are we doing a haircut too?
I mean, I left that. I mean, if you don't need to.
Okay, we just check it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you guys cut it?
I cut it myself actually, like cut like a month,
Okay.
actually maybe 3 weeks ago. It was pretty long. Sorry. I don't think anything fell.
Okay. Do you want to
done with this actually?
Oh, it's done? Okay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. So this is a new client who just kind of wanted to get rid of some of the orange in her hair and just have something that was going to grow out a lot softer with her natural regrowth. She has done some previous coloring at home herself, she said, and some of it does fade out and some of it does kind of stay. So there are various colors in her hair pre-existing with additional like old highlights and a lot of warmer pieces that just weren't lifted light enough. And then overall I feel like there's a lot of darker pieces too that probably at some point were probably covered with permanent color. So generally we're just trying to soften the grow out, lighten up some of those orangey pieces so that when the color does fade, it doesn't fade out as warm, and have something that does fade a little bit more complementary to her skin tone, but also blending with her gray pattern. So I'm going to go in with my signature placement. I'm going to start in the back nape, and I did 2 foils around the hairline and just to kind of detail that area, and then I'm going to go in with the mohawk placement that I do on everybody, and I'm pretty much leaving, I would say, like a 1/2 inch in between these sections. And you can see there are previous highlights and various different levels in the hair, so I'm being very cautious to being careful picking out any previous highlights. Now when I'm doing, I feel like a canvas that has a lot of uneven levels in the hair, where some of it's permanent color, some of it's semi, some of it might be old highlights that weren't lifted, or even some highlights that were lifted light enough. So it's just kind of tricky to decide sometimes what to do when you have various levels in the hair. I am using pretty much just one developer, so our goal today is really to lift her to a level 9 at least, I would say. Now some of that permanent color, I don't know how light it's gonna get, but ideally I'm shooting for at least a 9. And so as I'm picking through and doing her placement, any piece that is really like a level 7, 8 and up, I do try to pick those pieces out. I don't want to put lightener on them unless I do it at the very end. But anything I would say like a really warm 7 and below, I definitely will hit it with the lightener in this first process of foiling her root. And I already asked her if she's okay with seeing her gray in between the color, which is always going to be the best blend for any gray blending client versus if we were to do a demi in between. And she doesn't have a lot of silver in my opinion. She does have a good amount of natural dimension and depth, so I'm just using her natural color as the dimension for this look for today. And if you ever have a client that is going for more of a natural toned look and they prefer to stay in the more browns, I would highly recommend doing a demi. But since she just wants to be something as low maintenance as possible and as ashy as possible, I'm just going to go in and just leave her natural hair in between. And leaving that natural hair in between is going to ensure that she gets the softest blend, because if you're already blending around their natural pattern, that's going to give the softest grow out and ultimately allow the clients to go as long as possible. So I did the mohawk all the way to the front of the hairline, and then I'm connecting the rest of the hairline. I did diagonal backs off the side of her side hairline, and now I'm connecting the front and the back with this side section above the ear. After I do a weave above the ear, I'm just going to continue doing my slicing pattern, pretty much doing the 1/2 inch apart section, maybe right at the crown. I might even do 1/4 inch, just depending. And then once I've done all of the root foils, now I'm going in. I've already separated the hair in between her foils, meaning all the hair that I left out and did not foil, we are now going to be foiling those pieces. So I'm weaving and teasing and just intentionally picking out the pieces that I would say are a level 7 and darker, so that we can get them to a nicer lighter color so that it does fade out nice and she's able to maintain some of the look at home. So I would say with this kind of correction, it was already known that it was going to lift uneven. I feel like she definitely had some permanent color on her mids and ends. So I did see a little bit of banding in certain areas here and there. So I feel like once any part of the foil has reached a level 9, and I do see some pieces reach like a level 7, I definitely just stop at a 9. I don't let those pieces get to a level 10, just because you might have to change up your formula, and it's a little bit tricky when you're now filling the hair versus just toning the hair. So if you're just lifting to a level 9, you're just really controlling the warmth, you're not really filling, and I feel like it's not the end of the world if you did lift her a little bit lighter, but it just makes it easier if you're just more so controlling warmth rather than fully like correcting the entire tone. So for her toner formulation, I'm going to be using the Danger Jones Gloss Toners, and for her root, I'm using the 5-1 and their 6-01. And then for the ends, I did the 6-01 and the 9-1 too. This is going to just create something that is more on the ashy side. I would say this is like a very ashy toner to cancel out a lot of warmth. And then after we finish her color, I will be doing a keratin. And for the keratin, you're not really supposed to color, so she's going to leave with stick straight hair and she cannot wash for about 72 hours. The keratin is great for clients who have wavy or frizzy hair that they want to put less heat on it, and just have something that they can air dry or even blow dry and heat style a little bit quicker. So after the 72 hours, you can use a sulfate-free shampoo to maintain the keratin, and it just makes it overall the transition of you getting your hair lightened a lot easier and avoid putting any heat since the ends were bleached this session. So keratin can definitely be done right after a highlight appointment, and I would say I would wait at least 3 months before re-highlighting your hair.
Oh wow.
How's everything feel?
Yeah.
Feels good.
I just have to get used to it.
I know. And then your grays here are nice and blended now. So it's a lot softer.
Okay.
Alrighty, so here is the finished result. I absolutely loved it. I feel like this is going to grow out a lot softer, and when this fades too, it will fade blonde, and she can maintain some of the neutral tone with some purple shampoo, but at least it won't fade nearly as orange as her last color. And then the other thing I do want to know, if you were to do a keratin on your clients right after the color appointment, I would definitely keep in mind that the keratin, because it is a treatment that utilizes heat, it does fade the toner a little bit. So for those clients, I try to maybe overtone or just let the toner sit a little bit longer in that case. But that is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you next week.